30, Jack Blake. Number 9, Augie Williams. Number 10, Romario Williams. Number 15, Adrian Deesbay. Number 30, Ben Ofemu. Number 32, Ben Suoro. Number 33, Aiden White. Number 99, Malik Foster. And wearing the captain's armband tonight, 14, Aiden Quinn. The head coach here at Indy 11 is Sean McCauley. The Indy 11 assistant coaches are Bill Preston and James Naponi. The goalkeeper coach is Andy Swift. And then athletic trainer for Indy 11 is Jeff Franco. And the team doctor is Dr. Ashley Warren.
And the guys are hooking you up. They're wearing the warm-up jerseys.
I was hoping.
Dude,
I was hoping. Because if Fair Oaks wasn't in the building during warm-ups,
right,
I'm going to get a call on Monday saying, wait a second.
Not officially done with summer yet. The temperatures would tell you that. Kickoff temps in the high 80s, and the heat turned up in terms of the playoff chase for each of these two teams. El Paso Locomotive makes a first ever trip to Michael A. Carroll Track and Soccer Stadium on the campus of IU Indianapolis. Thanks for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer alongside Brad Hodder. My name is Greg Rakestraw. Thanks for joining us. We are down to 8 matches left to go for the Indy 11. 5 of those seen here on My Indy TV 23. Let's get you to the standings now in terms of the Eastern Conference. The Indy 11, frankly, have been kind of stuck in neutral over the course of the last several weeks. They have pulled a point from each of their last 2 matches. They are currently in 6th, yet as you see, from 3 to 11, there's only 12-point separation. Lou City has clinched a playoff spot. Miami FC knows they'll be going home when the season is over at the end of October. I welcome Brad Hunter to the broadcast now. And Brad, as we kind of focus on the Indy 11, we're trying to imagine ways to restart this offense, which did not score a goal last week in a 0-0 draw against Hartford. So with that, we have picked 3 players to focus on. Let's start with Jack Blake.
Right, Jack Blake, who came out of this preseason just absolutely on a tear. Indy's scoring drought, coincidentally, coincides with his injury. Now that he's back in form, we need to get him clicking again.
He was injured on June 15th, and frankly, his scoring drought has led to an Aiden Stanley assist drought as well.
Absolutely. So Aiden Stanley, it looked like he was going to set records not just for Indy 11, but for the USL Championship, the way he came out of the gate playmaking. The problem has not been Aiden Stanley. It's been the ball has been getting to him too slowly and not in space. That allows teams to shift over into his space and jam things up. The third player you got to focus on here is Malik Foster. You knew he was fast, but holy smokes, when you can get him out in isolation in a 1v1, he knows how to get that first touch to separate himself from the defender, and he is gone. So find opportunities to get him isolated and then get him the ball.
Getting that offense may be easier said than done. El Paso Locomotive is last in the West, but they've had 3 consecutive clean sheets. We'll tell you more about them when we come back to downtown Indianapolis. Kickoff moments away on My Indy TV 23.
AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money. From rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling, you can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
At Indiana Members Credit Union, we're invested in more than just your finances. We're invested in your future, the future of your family, the well-being of the community you live in, and in those who dream big. Until those dreams become a reality, any bank can give you a loan or open an account. At IMCU, we care about more than just dollars and cents. We care about doing things that make sense. And investing in you makes good sense to us.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Tonight's match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. And by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. And yes, Hunter Salt is wearing a cow print. All of the Indy 11 players were during warm-ups, and you can bid on your autographed Indy 11 warm-up jersey from tonight's All Things Indiana match. Scan the code now or visit the Indy 11 app for more information. Let's get to the starting lineups. They are presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Your Central Indiana Ford dealers are a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. And for the Indy 11, a bit of a formational change. They're going back to 2 up top, the electric duo that can be Williams and Williams, who have combined for over 120 goals in USL Championship play.
And you look, if they stay connected and tight in the middle, they're going to draw the defenders in. That's going to open up space on the outside for Foster.
And again, this has been a bit of a reload during the middle of the season for El Paso Locomotive, with Wilmer Cabrera being brought in, who for so many years was with the Houston Dynamo and coached with RGV. In terms of familiar names that we will see, Joaquin Rivas on that upper left-hand side wearing number 7, Eric Calvillo number 6, and Jamali Waite that will be in net for El Paso Locomotive. Indy 11 will be going from left to right towards the setting sun of the west as you are watching tonight's game from Indianapolis. For those of you watching in El Paso, we welcome you to Indy for the first time. Thanks for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer on MyIndy TV 23 and ESPN+. And already, Hayden White getting all the way to the opposite corner flag in his just third game in an Indy 11 uniform, making the transition from playing in England for the last 11 seasons. Brem Sumaro, quick one touch, left foot, Augie Williams. Brad, that's a shot on goal in less than 30 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you what, again, it comes off of Jack Blake. The ball is driven into the middle. He sees the run from Augie Williams. The ball to Jack brings the defenders into the center. It's a one-touch ball into Augie Williams' path, and that is not the way El Paso wants to start the match.
And a quick whistle against the Indy 11, by the way. Sergei Damianchuk is our referee for tonight's contest. Fernando Pena, Christopher Slane, our assistant referees, and Salvador Flores is our fourth official. Indy has played El Paso twice. Both matchups have been in Southwest Texas. Indy won last year 3-2 in August. Indy played El Paso Locomotive in 2021 and lost that match when Mark Lowry was the head coach for El Paso Locomotive. Let's get to your injury reports. Brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Flag goes up. Foul is called against Toomey Moshabane. Callum Chapman Page and Macca King, only two players in the injury report tonight.
I tell you, you liked the buildup from Jack Blake to Augie Williams a moment ago. This little combination in the middle of the field for El Paso in transition nearly freed them to walk in on Hunter Solk.
Notable that Callum Chapman Page is injured and out tonight because he scored his lone goal for the Indy 11 last year in the victory against El Paso. Here is Hunter Saltigan fighting that sun that is setting to the west in this east-west pitch alignment. Blast this one away. Flick from Romario Williams to Augie Williams. Heads up atop the BYB. That one is heading towards the White River in the Indianapolis Zoo. Let's get to our keys to the match, presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Coach, the floor is yours.
Yeah, for Indy, they've in their first 16 matches, we're averaging almost 2 goals a match. In the last 10, it's been under 1. They've got to find a way to unlock that scoring drought here in this playoff push. Additionally, got to be a little bit more disciplined defensively. You take a look over the last 4 matches, they're averaging giving up 3 goals a game. That's bad anytime, but it's exponentially worse when you're not scoring. So they got to clean that up. For El Paso, they have to execute. They're creating chances. They're almost equal to Indy 11 in shots, but they're the only team in the league that's under 10% on a conversion rate. So they're getting the chances. They just have to convert them. And then you mentioned it in the pregame show, over 270 minutes without conceding a goal. That defense has kept their season alive. El Paso needs to keep that defensive train on the tracks tonight.
Again, El Paso needs some help, and they have 5 of their last 7 at home to finish the season, including 5 of their next 6. Again, they are in last in the West, but they are not mathematically eliminated yet the way that Miami is. Miami will be here in a couple of weeks. Those are the next 2 home matches for the Indy 11. Calvillo plays that ball wide right. And while El Paso Locomotive has not played it before, Eric Calvillo has. He was a teammate of Sebastian Guenzati with the New York Cosmos years ago, playing in this park.
It's a great touch.
Stanley and Ofemu. I wouldn't say that was the textbook tackle. Stauffer, the player that has yet to get up. At the other end, Romario Williams, who scored the last Indy 11 goal in this building in the 97th minute 2 weeks ago. And now that the ball is back to Jamali Waite, we will go back and check on the injured player at the other end for Locomotive. It's Lucas Stauffer that is the injured player who was up in the attack from his defensive role. Stauffer has gotten the start now in 22 matches so far this season.
And this is a great touch to get himself a little bit freed up, and then he just finds himself in a little bit of traffic at the top of the box.
I believe he and Ofemu just simply bumped knees in that play.
You bump Ofemu at any time, it's going to be difficult and painful.
Stauffer is thinking this is not the return home I had planned on. Now, he is not from Indianapolis, but playing here and in Louisville will be as close as he gets. He is a native of Owensboro, Kentucky. So wait till get the restart. And again, of the El Paso players, Jamali is one of the ones that we are more familiar with. Not just because of, again, he plays about as high of a level of international football as any of the players in the league do. Because of some injuries to Andre Blake, he has been the #1 goalkeeper for a good chunk of this year for Jamaica. But Jamali played for Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh the last 2 seasons. Just a third-year pro.
You could see the confidence they have in Waite as they're playing combinations and playing it back to him under pressure.
Good combinations by the Indy 11, but a pass gets errant. And Steven Rivas, who is playing in just his 5th match of the season, has the ball at his feet again. This roster, well, frankly, both these teams have had a lot of new pieces join since the middle of the season. And one thing you certainly noticed from Wilmer Cabrera's standpoint is he brought in a lot of guys that he was familiar with that were playing with RGV, say, a season ago. Flag goes up, Moshe. Offside flag goes up against him for a second time tonight.
Yeah, you can see El Paso in that middle third. They're looking for him. They're looking to see if they can play that ball in behind Afemu for him to go and collect it. He's just a step too early getting into the space right now.
Hunter Salt about to reset this Select soccer ball. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues. Alfaro. A flick by Blake. Back to Jamali Waite.
Smart.
Wahab Akwe with the play. He was just acquired from the switchback, so he knows guys like Romario Williams, Malik Foster exceedingly well from his time in Colorado Springs. James Musa would be in that mix as well, but he is not in the 18 for the Indy 11 this evening. Here's Joaquin Rivas, who again we know exceedingly well from his time in St. Louis. Simply put, he is one of the best players in the USL Championship history of the FC Tulsa franchise. And he spent time with Miami the last couple of seasons as well. He knows Benafemu and Ben Mines quite well.
Good ball. Way to switch the attack. First touch gets a little bit sideways. That allows Indy to shift in behind the ball.
Javier Navarez. Gives it to Robert Coronado. And Indy being very aggressive on the pressure tonight. Well, in talking with Sean McCauley earlier this week, he said, you know, we're going to get after it. We're going to go chase this. That was a way to try to jumpstart this offense.
Well, it's such an important game for both teams. You look at El Paso, and you know they're trying to extend their opportunity another week to see if they can get into a chance to earn a playoff spot. And for Indy, they got to right the ship before we get into the month of October.
This is the last Western Conference foe that Indy will play this season. It is largely 6-point matches the rest of the way. Coronado able to keep that ball in play. Williams racing back, but Akwe will steer it back to Jamali Waite. Let's thank our friends, the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments.
You love the pressure that Augie Williams is putting on the balls back to the back line. He's going all out on it. You just have to be careful that he doesn't burn too much fuel here in the first 45 minutes if you're Indy.
You got plenty of options off the bench if needed of Sean McCauley. Attack-minded options like Sebastian Guenzati and Elliot Collier, both available for selection off the bench. Foster, Blake. Blake goes down, but nothing in that from a penalty or foul standpoint. Good read by Ofemu to keep the attack alive. Blake, the flick. Romario Williams could not settle. Aiden Quinn is there to step on it. Here's Stanley. Now Sumaro in just his second match with the Indy 11. He had been playing the last season and a half in the Canadian Premier League. Sumaro went the full 90, which was a bit unexpected last week against Hartford. Here's Dees Pay. His second season with the boys in blue. Good find to get Augie Williams. What are you seeing so far from the home team, Brad?
You like that they're on the front foot. I mean, both defensively and with the ball, everything is looking forward. High energy pressing into the attacking third. Just haven't been able to connect on that final touch inside the 18.
When you and I were speaking in our production meeting, and yes, folks, we actually have production meetings for these broadcasts. When we were talking about this on Thursday, you said Indy has to pick up the pace, and not just how they play, but almost like the speed of movement, the speed of thought. Are you seeing it so far?
You like it. You like it both defensively and in the attack. You're seeing what you need from Indy to get that ball moving, not just the speed of play, but the speed of thought as well.
Foul whistled against El Paso Locomotive. Hayden White draws the foul. Sports This Match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. It's all more about community health in a matter of moments. First, the replay of the foul as we get ready for live action. Thanks to our friends at Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care simply delivered. Foster could not get there, but Augie Williams does. Has Romario Williams to his left. Slides it across, slots it home. Indy 11 in minute number 12. They're on the front foot tonight. It is time to cue the smoke in Indianapolis.
Great ball from Augie Williams. You look, and sometimes this stuff is set up from earlier plays. So they found Augie Williams in the box a couple times early in this match, and he's taken the shot. And so at that point, Wait, the defender, everybody has got to focus on Augie Williams. You look at everything collapsing around him. Romario Williams goes back post. Augie Williams has the presence of mind to slot the ball across. Romario Williams does what he has done for so many years in this league and puts it away.
It is his second goal as a member of the Indy 11. That is tally number 60 in his extensive USL Championship career. He joins Augie Williams and Sebastian Guenzati in the 60-goal club on current members of the Indy 11. And for El Paso Locomotive, that is the first goal they have allowed in a month. It is just 12 minutes into 90. But Brad, it looks like a completely different team.
You look too. If you've got, Romario, you get Augie Williams, you get Malik Foster, you get these guys starting to find their attacking rhythm, and just in time for, this final playoff stretch. You're going to be in great shape if you're Indy.
And again, you've got pieces here. Romario Williams joined the team in June. Sumaro and White have joined the team in the last month. Same with Malik Foster. And because of Aiden Quinn's injury, didn't make his season debut until August the 2nd. Again, that's 5 pieces that were not with you 3 months ago. Oh, by the way, when you rattled off a 2.5-month stretch without losing a match. Alfaro. The leave by Rivas now gets it back, but his old teammate Adrian Dispay sweeps it back to the middle of the park. Williams, as in Romario, tried to pick the pocket of Alfaro and could not do it. Great sliding tackle by Sumaro. Navarez will lead the attack for Locomotive. Joaquin Rivas the lead, but Aiden Quinn stepped in the way of that ball intended for Lucas Stauffer.
You're only 15 minutes in, but if you're Indy, you got to like the feel of this game.
Sports This Match is brought to us by McGowan Insurance Group and Auto Owners Insurance. They have teamed up to make tailored insurance policies for your family. And now here is a tailor-made chance to catch up for El Paso Locomotive. A foul just outside of the 18 and a dangerous set-piece opportunity. Hunter Salt having to fight a blast from less than 25 yards in, and the sun directly in his eyes as he tries to make the upcoming stop.
This is a good spot for El Paso. The struggle that they've had scoring. Sometimes it's the run of play that can be your worst enemy, and restarts are the things that can save you.
Just 19 goals scored this season for El Paso Locomotive, and their leading scorer, Amando Moreno, is not in the 18 tonight. And Kind of a late scratch or late add to the injury report for El Paso.
You talk about 19 goals. Only team in the league that hasn't crossed 20 yet.
We're going to try to rectify that on the next touch of the ball. Here's Calvillo. Calvillo in his third season in El Paso.
Post runner and pulls Augie Williams out of that wall, gives a little bit more space.
Bending here to save by Hunter Salt. Used every bit of that 6'7" frame. Did the native of Alaska.
That is a heck of a hit and a great save.
Calvillo, 3 goals. He is the leading goal scorer available tonight for El Paso Locomotive. Salt has been tremendous. 6 clean sheets, including last week for the Indy 11. On loan from Portland Timbers. It's basically been his net since late April for Indy. Yanni Godel has featured just twice since he took over back on April the 20th.
He's been fantastic.
Indiana winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthebold.com. Onside. O'Shavane will track it down. To be the native of South Africa. Challenged by Deespay, who stands him up. Keeps it in play. And now we'll knock it off the oncoming El Paso attacker. And here is Hunter Salt's handiwork into the setting sun.
It's a great strike. Right around the wall, upper corner, and brilliant reaction from Hunter Salt. Look at that ball. It's going in. It's a great strike.
White told to back a little closer to the corner flag. Hunter just 22 years of age in goal for the Indy 11. This is frankly largely a veteran team now. When Logan Neidlinger was getting some run for a 2-month period, he kind of brought down the median age, but now it is back to Hunter really being kind of the young pup out there, but he has never looked at it again. He has played extensively in the Portland Timbers system, just as dealing with a logjam of talented keepers in front of him, like Maxime Crépeau, who is Canada's #1 goalkeeper, and Trey Muse, who we know very well both in this league and in this area, being from Louisville and having played at Indiana University. Little tete-a-tete happening here between Augie Williams, a member of the Locomotive, and our match referee.
All of Indianapolis is a huge fan of the wealth of goalkeeping up in Portland right now.
And again, we're obviously looking at this from the pro Indy 11 perspective, but I kind of think that this loan might last for a while.
Everybody's a winner in it. You know, he gets to develop not just as a player, but gets games, and then as far as leadership as well. You know, he's running a back line at a pro level.
Waite able to let that trickle into his 18-yard box. Fans, show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. If you're just joining us, Romario Williams with the goal, his second of the season, his second in as many home matches, his 60th of his career here in the USL Championship, 4th of the season. He had 2 in Hartford before he made the move back in mid-June. Last year, 15 for Romario in his days with the Switchbacks. Throw-in coming for the Indy 11. Much the chagrin of Wilmer Cabrera. Quinn, well done by Calvillo. These guys have had some battles over the years.
Yeah, great ball movement. That's twice that they have gone out and found Navarez on the right side in space. This time they deliver him a ball he can just run onto.
Navarez getting his 15th match of the season for El Paso. At the edge of the 18, Aiden Stanley sweeps it away. Here's Ruiz again. He was one of the players who had played for Wilmer Cabrera for RGV. We saw RGV one of their last games a season ago. In fact, they came here and won at the end of September, a 1-0 victory against the Indy 11 a season ago.
It's a great ball.
Opportunity here with a left foot that was scuffed, frankly, by Lucas Stauffer.
Right, he had it. It set up nicely for him. He had the window, and just it looked like his toes hit a little bit early.
Another opportunity here.
Great leave.
So he just did not get the pace on that ball that he was hoping for.
This is one of the things I like about Augie and Romario staying center. It opens up this side here and gives Malik Foster a little bit more space. I think there's got to be some times that Hayden White reads it a little bit differently and says, okay, Malik, you're out on an island by yourself. I'm not going to bring another defender into that space.
So while the Indy 11 start to build from the back, Romario Williams, the flick. Blake Williams, a blast, and heads up into BYB. Was not a shot on target, but one that gets your attention if you're an Indy 11 fan, whether you're sitting in the West End or not. Let's say hello to a special guest. He is the CEO of Citizens Energy Group. It is Jeff Harrison that joins us now. Jeff, welcome to the broadcast booth, and tell us why you're here this evening.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and just here to hang out with you guys for a little bit, talk a little bit about Citizens Energy Group.
Why is Citizens Energy Group partnering with the Indy 11 this evening?
Yeah, I tell you, this is an amazing team, an amazing sport, and again, it's one that really is great for our community, our customers. It provides value and entertainment, and so we look at opportunities like this and just jump all over them. So we love the Indy 11 and happy to be here. And if I could give a quick shout out to some of our team members here from Citizens Energy Group, would love to do so.
Please do so. And so tell me about the team members that are here, Jeff.
Yeah, so we've got members from our entire team, everywhere from customer service to our water operations team. We actually provide water, wastewater, natural gas service to about 900,000 customers here in central Indiana.
So now, because of you mentioned the phrase water, it immediately kicks in. Water-wise is something you talk about with Citizens Energy Group, and obviously it is very much state of mind. We enjoy the dry conditions to play tonight. We could use a little precipitation in central Indiana. The forecast is for none in the next 6 or 7 days. So now seems to be the perfect time to bring up water-wise to our viewers. Exactly what does that mean with the current conditions?
Well, thank you very much for doing that. And what it means is that really your lawn only needs to be watered twice a week. And so we ask that you just monitor your lawn, water twice a week, especially with this heat that's coming on. We'll expect to stay warm here for a bit longer. So just be water-wise and know your lawn, water your lawn, maybe just twice a week. It will still stay green. So be conservative with this water so that, as this dry weather continues, we've got enough.
Malik Foster has an opportunity. Williams goes out wide. Akwe got in the way. Foster takes a tumble. It will be a corner kick, which is brought to us by our friends at Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Ways to save man as part of kind of an even bigger and broader scope than water-wise is. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Ways to Save Man is a great person to listen to when you want to save money on your bill. He'll provide you with some amazing tips on saving money for energy as we move into the winter heating season. And so his green suit and entertainment will likely be on either TV or radio. So please listen to Ways to Save Man. We've tried to be a little humorous with Ways to Save Man and have a little fun. But again, our goal is, and what we're hearing from customers, is help us try to save money on our bills. And so that's what he does.
Aiden Quinn, the bending ball, and Jamali Waite makes the play. Now, September 14th would be today's date. October 5th is a big date on the Citizens Energy calendar. Tell us about that.
It is. October 5th is, and reserve the date, Community Resource Day at Citizens Energy Group. It will be held from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 2020 North Meridian. And so please stop by. We'll have, again, staff members there. They will help you save money, figure out how to save money on your utility bills. We'll also have a live band will be there in attendance. We'll have food vouchers for food trucks. They will also have other community partners there. So if you want to get information on healthcare, get information on utilities and others. We've got some other partners that will be there as well.
Please tell me that Ways to Save Man will be there on October the 5th.
You know,
as well.
I tell you what, we'll see if we can't get Waves to Save Man in attendance there. We'll also be giving, again, tons of giveaways, even backpacks full of school supplies will be given away. So if you can make it by, please come by and see us on October 5th. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
All right, website and/or social to find out more information about this and all things Citizens Energy. Where should our viewers go?
Absolutely. www.citizensenergygroup.com. Please visit us and on the web and on October 5th.
Jeff, thanks for visiting us, and please tell Ways to Save Man I said hello.
I most certainly will. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys.
Jeff Harrison again, the CEO of Citizens Energy Group, kind enough to join us. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you here on My Indy TV and ESPN+. Indy trying to get 3 points in front of the home faithful for the first time in 38 days. The last time that happened, August 7th against Rhode Island. Now, frankly, that's an important win for Indy because it gives them a tiebreaker over a team that is certainly in their general vicinity in terms of the jumbled Eastern Conference standings, which we will show you coming up at halftime. Williams, as in Romario. Augie Williams making a Route 1 run. Gets it to him in stride. 1-on-none. And Williams missed it.
Well, Williams and Williams are dialed in tonight. They're reading each other well. They're making runs off the ball well. You take a look. When this ball pops out to Romario Williams, watch Augie Williams just take off here. He knows the situation. He knows that ball's coming into space. He explodes into it. Romario delivers the ball. It's just pushed a bit wide.
Chance creation significantly improved for the Indy 11 tonight. Well, we have a bit of an injury breather. It has given me the opportunity, Brad, to ask you a very important question.
I am ready.
Have you heard of Mom Water?
Yes.
Thank goodness, we mention in every broadcast. Refreshing, fruit-infused vodka water with zero carbonation, zero sugar, zero carbs, and only 90 calories. Mom Water is the perfect game day drink. Focused in Indiana, or founded in Indiana, rather, and now a proud sponsor of the Indy 11. Please drink and enjoy responsibly. There's been space, frankly, at both ends of the park. It's been a fun watch so far. Calvillo given just a bit of space. Great find, other side of the building.
No kidding. What a strike. It's a ball as a coach. When you see him winding up for it, you're like, oh, please. Oh, please. Because that's such a ball that can be picked off, and Indy can get out in transition, but perfect delivery.
Rivas on the cross, but nobody's sitting exactly back post, but Stanley didn't put that where he wanted to. Coronado.
Dang.
Not on target.
Well, that's a base on
but
it,
a ball that had some significant velocity to it. Well, as Hunter Salt takes his time to hit the reset button, gives us a chance to tell you about Soccer Saturday. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. I have the pleasure of catching up with Hayden White for the first time. Sean McCauley's always a fun conversation. And that gentleman's son was a heck of an interview as well. So that's Wilmer Cabrera, head coach of El Paso Locomotive. His son, Wilmer Jr., although they call him Andy these days with the Locomotive. We had him on the program because you may not know, Wilmer Jr. played at Butler University, scored 23 goals in 4 years for the Bulldogs, now in his second year as a pro. And you can go back and listen to that anytime. 1075thefan.com, anchor.fm/Indy-11. I want to give a quick shout out to Alberto that handles communications for El Paso Locomotive. He was tremendous to work with in setting up the interview. So, Alberto, a hat tip to you. Thanks for making Andy be a part of our show this week. We greatly appreciate it.
I tell you, that's one thing that Malik Foster does brilliantly. When he's got a player on his back, it is a touch to get some separation, and then he's out using his speed.
He's been sitting on this lead now for the last 18 minutes. Romario Williams' goal. White He's been in country for about 17 days at this point. He literally got here the day after the Indy 11 Open Cup semifinal loss in Kansas City. Inserted immediately in the starting lineup. Played for places like Barry, Blackpool, Walsall over his English Football League career. Has played at 4 different tiers of the English football system. Speaking of a native Englishman, Jack Blake, the man from Nottingham. They're celebrating a little bit today, a 1-0 victory at Liverpool. Blake has his shot stopped by Jamali Waite.
You look at Blake this year, and he has had no hesitation in pulling the trigger on one-touch balls from outside the 18. And I got to tell you, almost every one of them has been on frame.
8 goals, still very much the team high. Sebastian Guenzati and Augie Williams neck closest at 5 apiece. Blake has not scored since June 9th. Got injured against Orange County June 22nd, missed about a 6-week stretch of time, and there is a direct correlation to the struggles of the Indy 11 and Blake getting injured in late June. Indy currently tied for 6th in the East, but 3 points here would go a long way to help that. And again, it's really a 2-team race for 1 and 2. Foul against Dees Pay between Lou City and Charleston. Quick restart here for El Paso. Rivas.
Great luck.
Stanley sprawling to get out there, and Salt will scamper over to track it down.
What a great look and a great ball. If Stanley doesn't get a piece of that, Stauffer's in on Hunter Salt.
Sumaro. What are you seeing from Sumaro in his first performance here in front of the home fans, Brad?
Steady, steady. You know, for a guy that just popped in and has, played every minute since he's been with the team, it's like he's been here all season. You take a look at one thing. Afemu just moments ago pressed up on a ball that he thought he could pressure up against the back line, and Brem drops back into that spot like he's been trained to do it.
Foster trying to find a window. There's one. Diving save by Jamali Waite.
Wow.
Another on-target blast from Blake. Both keepers now feel they may have robbed one.
It's a great switch again.
Talking about Sumaro, born in Guinea, represents Liberia for his international football. Has played in the Netherlands, Italy, and Canada. Of course, this match is brought to us by Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered. Sun starting to set on this Saturday night. We're all about a week away from the fall equinox. Blake did just enough. Here's Jack Blake with, again, an absolute rocket that Waite made a phenomenal play on. Great job by Foster to find some space.
Great strike.
Waite had 67 saves coming in, and frankly, that number would be more as Salt was over to make the play. Again, had not Waite been so busy playing for Jamaica. He's played in 5 caps for the Jamaican national team this year. And Jamaica has always seemingly pulled a lot of players from this league for their national team. Blake, who has held down the spot between the posts for the Philadelphia Union forever, he's been dealing with injuries all year, so Waite has had more of an opportunity. Goal allowed by Waite, his 29th of the season. Again, Rivas. Sumaro, great turn.
Great recovery run, too. Great recovery run. He recognizes that the defensive shape isn't quite where it needs to be, makes a sprint back there, and pulls the ball.
Speaking of sprints, Aiden Stanley is making one, but instead there's more safe space for Malik Foster. Williams, as in Romario, makes the supporting run. Foster's pass just lacked a little velocity to get through to Stanley. Now the other direction we go again. Both teams have not been shy about getting up and down the pitch tonight. Alfaro, one of the more veteran players on this El Paso Locomotive squad. Calvillo, the chip forward, but nothing comes from it.
Too much. You had an overlapping run over your right shoulder. That's where the ball needed to go.
eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Salt content to let his players walk up the park just a little bit. And Samaro commits the foul as Calvillo goes sprawling. And Samaro immediately offers his hand as an apology. Indy on the road next week at North Carolina FC. At home for back-to-back weeks following that. Miami FC, and then Lou City makes the trip up I-65. Lou City that found the back of the net 5 times on national television against the Indy 11 back on April the 6th. Lou City that frankly hasn't slowed down their goal-scoring production since that time.
Only team in the league that is over 20% in conversion rate, and they're at 23. Indy was with them for a bit, but dropped recently. But Lou City has just had their foot on the gas from the opening whistle of the season.
Well, Lou City has continued their winning ways they've had since day number 1. But what they have done is they finally kind of transition, you know, from that kind of old veteran team. They still got some great experienced players, and you'll see a McCabe or you'll see an Ownby as part of that group. But it's kind of that next wave that has finally taken over down in Louisville.
But Philip Goodrum, are you kidding me?
Right.
You have got the pantry completely stacked up, and then you go out grocery shopping again.
You know what the move of Goodrum to Lou City has done for executives around the league? Let them look for their Jack Daniels and their country cocktails. A flavorful toast to togetherness brought to us by Jack Daniels Country Cocktail. I'm a little bit partial to the Lynchburg lemonade. What about you? You celebrate their entire catalog like Office Space?
You're asking me to pick. I can't pick.
You just hand me one. We'll have a good time with it. I think a foul called against Augie Williams for a nudge to get some space there. Goodrum making the move from LFC Tulsa to provide depth behind Wilson Harrison amongst others for Lou City. Indy has one more midweek match to play. That is October the 8th at Loudon. And Loudon trying to be a playoff team for the first time in their 6 years as a franchise. Loudon was very impressive here.
Right.
An Elliot Collier goal gave Indy a point when those two teams faced off back on July 13th. Regular season ends at Al Lang Stadium in downtown St. Petersburg, and Brad and I will be there, sort of, with the call of that one on My Indy TV 23 on October the 26th.
Good find again, great movement. I'll tell you, one thing El Paso's done a great job of is getting the ball out wide, drawing Indy over, having a guy in the middle that they can play through, and then switching fields.
Dispay tracks it down, knocks it forward. Blake able to keep it in play. Anything concerning from what you're seeing from the Indy 11 right now, Brad?
The only thing that's concerning, and we've seen this happen so many times through our decade of doing this, is when you leave one on the table, and there's been a couple of bites at the apple, you know, from early shots from Augie Williams, a couple from outside the box from Jack Blake. You've had the breakaway from Augie pushed wide. You take a look at those, and if you don't get that second one, you allow the team to hang around, and it can come back and punish you.
The example of that was the loss to New Mexico back on August the 11th, where Indy was phenomenal against the best team in the West for the first 45 minutes, and then got thumped in half number 2, 3-1.
What a ball.
Foster. White at the edge of the 18. Blake give and go to White, but Locomotive cuts it back properly. Clearance, though, not the best.
Can't have that kind of a turnover.
Foster. It's it back from Mario Williams. Foster lifts it in, finds Hayden White. White plays it across, headed away for a moment. Aiden Quinn rarely calls his own number, but had the opportunity there. Fans, a reminder to watch Wish TV, your local news source, and find them online at wishtv.com. Wish TV local news will follow our broadcast at 10 o'clock here on My Indy TV 23.
It set up really nicely for Aiden Quinn. You look, he was just trying to get that touch to get inside the post.
We have spoken a great deal in this match about Augie Williams, about Romario Williams. Now, Sherwin Williams, who brings you the final minutes of this half. Official paint sponsor of the Indy 11 soccer team. Sherwin Williams is the partner to the pro.
Find good numbers for El Paso if they can join it.
Joaquin Rivas to Ruiz. Calvillo.
Oh.
Overcooks that one for Stauffer. And Stanley digs in. Stauffer could not save it in time. Great effort, but could not save it.
And that's on Stauffer as well, because he's out wide, he's unmarked, and he starts making a run inside and marks himself up on that play.
Stauffer kind of checking with the IR just to make sure. You sure that ball was wide? Yes, sir, it was. Wilmer Cabrera had a tremendous playing career in his native Colombia. Played for America de Cali for a good chunk of the 90s. His coaching career has largely been here in the States. And again, a lot of that experience with Houston Dynamo. Augie Williams down. We'll play on for now. We'll come back and check on Augie at the conclusion of the play. Foster with acres of space. Left-footed shot did not get through Alfaro. Wow. And Waite content to build from the back. Williams now rejoining the mix, as in Augie Williams. And Ofemu will work this ball away from Steven Rivas.
4-on-3, 5-on-3 inside the 18. That's great confidence.
Tonight's match also brought to us by our friends at Dormacaba. Dormacaba for every place that matters. Now Williams with a stoppage play will have a chance to lobby for what he thought should have been a whistle a moment or two ago.
He is so great at coming back to the ball as a target. They find his feet, and he does such a terrific job of holding his defender off.
Augie did not feature in the 18 last week in Hartford. Right back in the starting lineup. Ruiz. He knows Foster well from their battles in the Western Conference the last few years.
Well defended.
Ruiz had been playing with the Red Wolves in Chattanooga in League One before brought back to the championship by Coach Cabrera. I don't think we're looking at a huge amount of added time at the end of this half. There obviously was the goal. We are nearing the end of a fun opening 45. Not just because the home team is in front. It's been fun to watch each of these two teams. They have covered a lot of turf here at Carroll Stadium. Stay tuned. Coming up at halftime, our usual look around the USL Championship Team of the Week news and notes. We'll have the scoreboard, and again, everything up for grabs in the East. Lou City's in. They and Charleston likely the 1 and 2. Miami eliminated. Everything else is up for debate.
That's crazy. You look at how rough of a start Pittsburgh had, even Rhode Island had, North Carolina had, and they're all starting to make a run. They're all peaking at the right time.
Indy trying to join that group. Indy has won a league match since June 15th, yet with the right combination of results tonight, could be in line to host a playoff game in less than 2 months. It is a long season. It concludes from a regular season standpoint October the 26th in Southwest Florida. Ruiz.
Overlapping run. Great run.
Alfaro White. Shoulder to shoulder, and no problem there.
Great read by White.
So Restart coming for Hunter Souls. USL Championship soccer continues on the ESPN networks this month with a matchup of two of the top teams in the East. Detroit City takes on Players Shield leader Lou City in a Sunday afternoon clash. That will be next Sunday, September the 22nd at 3 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN2. Indy has to go to Detroit City. They'll go to Hamtramck on October the 12th. In fact, Indy will play those teams in back-to-back weeks. 2 minutes. Alfaro heads it back to wait. 2 additional minutes left to play before we get to halftime.
A lot of space in the middle of the field for El Paso.
Advantage being played for El Paso. If you're El Paso, anything you're changing from a tactic standpoint going into half number 2, Brad?
The only thing I would say is you got to dial in a little bit more on some of the careless balls across the back. You're doing a great job of building through the middle and switching the fields, but every now and then you're turning one over at the edge of your defensive third, and Indy's going back at you in transition.
Calvillo's blast, not even into the 18. Here's Coronado. Coronado, one of those players kind of added at mid-season for Locomotive. Midway through these additional 120 seconds. Coronado looking to try to break through. And he's doing a good job of really walling off at the edge of the 18. Romario Williams steps in. And it's dropped. And that will give India a bit of a chance to catch their breath. Really enjoyed talking to Romario 2 weeks ago in our post-game show. You could tell kind of the weight of the world had been lifted getting that first Indy 11 goal, knowing he had missed some pretty sizable opportunities in some previous matches.
And then rolling into the match with Hartford, you know he wants to get one there. But once as a goal scorer, you get that first one, the opportunities start coming. You take a look tonight, he's had a couple of good looks and has the goal.
And that's it. No need for any further activity. So Romario Williams, lone strike back in minute number 12, has given the Indy 11 a 1-goal lead going to the halftime break. And as he always does, head coach Sean McCauley of the Indy 11 makes a beeline to our interview position. Let's talk to him now. Coach, this is the position you wanted to be in, leading at halftime. Your thoughts, what you saw from your team in the opening 45 minutes?
Yeah, I think we've been good. We've tried to force the play and, get attempts at goal. I'm a bit disappointed we didn't get the second goal, to be honest, because that makes it a 1-0 always a tough result to manage. So we'll try and come out the second half and try and go for another goal, to make us a little bit more comfortable.
A slight formation tweak with Williams and Williams up top with Foster kind of tucked in behind. It has led to chance creation. You got to be happy what you've seen from that so far.
Yeah, I mean, the two up front have worked well together, combined for the goal. Then combined again for the next chance, which should have been a goal. And then Malik's just, been special player tonight for us. He's causing the opposition all sorts of problems. And it's his work rate off the ball as well, which is really good. So we'll make sure that he gets out the second half and continues to do his stuff. And like I said, hopefully we can get the second goal.
Coach, as always, we appreciate it. Talk to you after the match.
Thank you.
Head coach of the Indy 11 in Sean McCauley, as always, tremendously gracious with his time with us. The Indy 11 trying to reward the home fans with a first win in this building since August 7th. Indy leads at a 0-0. As you're watching on My Indy TV and ESPN+.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
Our friends from El Paso certainly brought some warm weather with them for Southwest Texas. It feels more like July than mid-September. We get a halftime break. We hope you're enjoying it. Thanks for joining us on My Indy TV. As we normally do at halftime, let's start with kind of our look around the league. Let's begin with the USL Championship Team of the Week. And of note, Ramon Pascal is the goalkeeper of the week. He's not even playing tonight because Jamali Waite, who is clearly El Paso's #1, was away on international duty with Jamaica a week ago. Yosuke Hanya from the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs was the player of the week. Adrian Dees-Pay, by the way, made the bench for the Team of the Week with Indy 11 shutout last week in Hartford. Now, let's get to news and notes, and it's a very Eastern Conference heavy edition. One team in the standings has an X by their name. That's Lou City. They have qualified for the postseason for a 10th consecutive year, and they have done so with 7 weeks of the league calendar left to go. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they have clawed their way back into it. They pulled a point against the Indy 11 while a man down for over 90 minutes 2 weeks ago. They have now at least gotten a point in 10 consecutive matches. And speaking of, with 7 weeks to go, one more goal for Nick Marcatic of Charleston would give him the league scoring record currently held by Cameron Lancaster and Haji Berry. Again, he's going to Segunda B to play in Spain as soon as this season is over. Now let's take a greater look around the championship. Here's more from around the league.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Recentra bien el balón dentro del área. ¡Hombre, es el segundo! La combinación es buena. Se canta el 1-1 de local. ¡No te puedo creer! Increíble, Felipe. Y señoras y señores, la USL Championship.
Mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me.
Yes, those are cows, not real. Thanks to our friends at Fair Oaks Farms for partnering with the cow print jerseys and other halftime, etc. here at the Indy 11 match this evening. Indy leading El Paso by a score of 1-0. Let's take a look at the standings around the Eastern Conference. Again, Indy came in a tie for 6th in terms of the Eastern Conference table. Really, Tampa Bay is probably about as far up the table as Indy would be able to go. What you also notice is that Indy has a match in hand on everybody else in that group. And by the way, they own the tiebreaker with Rhode Island in 7th and Pittsburgh in 8th. They fared better in those head-to-head matchups, and that and not goal differential is what breaks ties in the USL Championship. So, scores that could change those standings at the end of the night. Let's show those to you now. A series of matches kicked off at 7 o'clock. Those are the Wednesday matches in the upper left-hand corner, and that Birmingham result certainly caught your attention. Detroit leading New Mexico by a goal early. Birmingham continuing their run from Wednesday. Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh are scoreless. I don't see much in the way of separation yet, Brad, in the Eastern Conference.
No, it's going to be crazy. Birmingham's looking to pick up in Detroit City some needed points as well, just to provide some separation from everybody. And then you're taking a look at that 0 from Charleston. You want to see if Nick Marcanic is going to set the record tonight.
Here are the late night matches coming up this evening. Then key matches midweek next week as well. Indy 11 back on the road to a place where they picked up their first official win in league and franchise history some 10 years ago. How about North Carolina FC? More halftime show comes your way next as you're watching on My Indy TV.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
When your cat's a me, then your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
When the online trends keep getting worse,
and you lost your keys in the metaverse.
Now your right swipe just went left on you.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
At Security Federal.
On My Indy TV and ESPN Plus is presented in part by Community Health Sports Medicine. Community Health Sports Medicine, exceptional care simply delivered. And by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Hi, how are you? Alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. Again, two teams getting ready for half number 2. You heard it in Sean McCauley's voice. Again, your thoughts on what you've seen from the Indy 11 so far in half number 1.
Love the energy, love the pace, love the way that they're freeing up opportunities for Malik Foster. don't like the fact that it's 1-0. This team's dangerous enough. We've seen it in a couple of transitional moments on restarts. They're dangerous enough to come away with a point if Indy doesn't get that second one.
Let's get you to a recap what we saw in half number one. A look at our first half highlights. And again, Brad, a sign of things to come for the Indy 11. They had a shot on target 30 seconds in.
Yeah, you take a look at those first little bits, and you had Augie Williams walking into the 18 twice and pulling the trigger. And then what that does is that sets up this moment where everybody's focused on Augie. He slides it across to Romario, and Romario Williams does what he has done 59 times previously in this league.
For Augie Williams, it is his second assist of the season. Again, El Paso did not lack for chances. This is their best one here. Eric Calvillo robbed by Hunter Solt.
Unbelievable shot. Even if he would have put it another inch or two over, Hunter Solt had his space covered.
You talk about missed opportunities. This is the one that Indy would like to have back. You have Augie Williams in on goal, and normally that means a 2-goal lead. Not the case yet for Indy.
Yeah, the ball came to Jack Blake. He pushes it out to Romario. As soon as that scenario happens, Augie Williams takes off. Romario delivers it right to him, and it's just pushed wide.
So with that, stats at halftime, possession. Again, part of that because El Paso has been chasing the game. Anything from those numbers that really kind of jump off the page at you?
Well, you take a look. Both teams are having a pretty good shot on goal ratio to shots, but if you're El Paso, you just got to generate more opportunities so that you can get try and pull this game back.
Looking for the best deal in town? Check out the all-new Pabst Blue Ribbon deck next time here at Carroll Stadium and enjoy $3 PBRs all game long. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com or the Indy 11 box office on day of the game. Pabst Blue Ribbon, because you deserve a blue ribbon. And fans, you can watch the USL Championship in Espanol on TUDN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches, including the championship final, will be available in Spanish throughout the rest of the season. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Do you remember correctly, the inaugural match was Indy 11 in Orange County back in late June as part of that TUDN package. As Brad nods accordingly.
Right. I believe everything you say. So if that's
I know not
what
even
it was,
look you for confirmation. You're just going to
if that's
assume.
What it was, I agree with you.
I'm walking Wikipedia for Mr. Hogger. What do you expect to see here early in the second half for Indy, Brad?
Well, they came out of the gate so strong in the first half, pressing every back ball that El Paso would play. And then when they got the ball exploding out into transition, I would think with a 15-minute break, you're going to see a lot of that same kind of play.
And El Paso trying to stay in the playoff chase in the West. They got to climb 4 teams to get there. They know it's going to be difficult. Indy just trying to restart the good vibes they had for really a 2 to 3 month stretch in the middle of this season. Kind of like a 3-act play for the Indy 11. They're looking to make a 4th. And looking to make a similar closing run to what they did a season ago. Quinn.
Great ball.
Foster. Foster has White to his right, plays Blake instead, and now Sumaro. Foster joined the Indy 11, played his first match in that 3-2 loss to Las Vegas back on August the 24th, and then he was not cup tied to Colorado Springs, so he's able to play against Sporting Kansas City back on August the 27th. Aiden Stanley, Waite. Didn't immediately come off his line, but frankly was not penalized for that decision. I want to thank again our friends at Dormicaba for every place that matters. This routine now of playing every Saturday night. Not playing another midweek match until early October.
Good build.
The flick to Stauffer. Dees Pay able to shield him away from the ball. Blake finds Romario Williams, has Augie Williams, and has Foster to his right. Ball knocked forward. Foster could not get it past Waite.
Wow.
Another opportunity left the doorstep by the Indy 11.
What a save.
And there's a reason why he is currently Jamaica's #1. Again, that's going to be Andre Blake's spot when he's healthy, but Waite has been a more than ready backup when needed. And simply put, one of the best keepers in our league.
I'm going to echo what we talked about when we went to break at halftime. Indy has got to convert that second one. That's twice they've walked in. I mean, they've had a lot of shots inside the 18, just outside the 18. But you let a team hang around, and they will punish you.
Your Central Indiana Ford dealers are a proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Foul against Indy. Hayden White, the guilty party. Let's go back to the Foster opportunity on goal for the Indy 11. Again, Williams made the right read. That was the open player and just didn't do enough with it. Now at the other end, Aiden Quinn has to head it back as we show you the replay here. A quick opportunity developed for El Paso, but literally a heads-up play by Quinn squelched the opportunity for El Paso Locomotive.
Again, you got Malik on the backside.
And Jack Blake saw it, and there is Foster. Foster this time maybe in more of a centering role. Nah, he'll score. Malik Foster gets the goal. His first in Indy 11 uniform. There is the second goal for the Indy 11. 2-goal advantage for the home squad.
Great goal. Great find to push that ball out wide for him.
For Foster, he had 4 tallies for the Switchbacks before he made the move at the end of August. Again, he has been a part of the attack for the Indy 11 repeatedly. Not just in this game, but since joining the club, but scores for the first time in an Indy 11 uniform.
Brilliant ball from Jack Blake to free him up. It's this right here, the defender overcommitting, that allows him to look at the back post. If the defender stays on the inside of him, it's an easy ball for Waite to manage because the goal is smaller. Once the defender bypasses him, he's got the entire back post available to him.
And we cut back to Sean McCauley basically saying, don't let up now. Keep it going. And this is an El Paso team that had not allowed a goal in their last 3 matches. They'd only won 1 of those because they've only scored once in now their last 3.5 matches. And goal scoring has been their issue this year, just 19 conversions on the season. But allowing goals has not been their problem. It has been tonight. Stanley. Sumaro, right idea, just couldn't connect with Blake. And Waite couldn't take the chance. Just gave away the possession, and he did it because players down, and looks like there's going to have to be a substitution made by El Paso, but the other players currently warming up. Noah Dollenmeyer, Bolu Akinyode, and Dollenmeyer will be told, you can warm up on the field. Here he comes, just turns and goes right towards the 4th official. Noah Dollenmeyer has played in 23 matches. That's amongst the most for Locomotive this year. Second-year pro that spent last year with LAFC 2 and MLS Next Pro. It is Akwe, the player that you see him kind of pointing to that right leg. Tonight's match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care simply delivered. Dollenmeyer, a player, as he gets ready to head into the match, if he had grown up in Indiana, he might be playing basketball. A sizable fella about to enter the fray for El Paso Locomotive. 6'6" is the native of Thousand Oaks, California.
All right, speaking of basketball, I got an El Paso Indy trivia question for you.
Fire away.
This basketball player played for the Pacers, has also coached. I don't know if he's coached for the Pacers. Was born in El Paso.
Born in El Paso. It's okay. I got to rethink this a little bit now. See, I thought you were going to go with Antonio Davis, who played collegiately for Don Haskins at UTEP, and then had a great career with the Indiana Pacers amongst other teams. His college teammate Tim Hardaway also basically played at the end of his career with the Pacers. I thought that was the direction. I thought you'd go Pacers El Paso trivia. Not native of El Paso.
Yeah, a little sneakier than that.
Okay, all right.
And because I didn't know those two things.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that's why I didn't put them in the trivia vault today.
We may double back. I need to think about that for a minute as Blake draws the foul and restart opportunity coming for the Indy 11. You and I were talking about this off air. Both you and I have had a chance to spend some time in El Paso over the years, and I'm a big fan of that community.
Love it.
I was able to go down there. Speaking of basketball, in addition to the famous Sun Bowl, the college football bowl game on New Year's Eve, there is a basketball tournament that's gone along with that for the years, and I had a chance to call a couple of games in that tournament several years ago. And
of course you did.
Folks in there were tremendous in their hospitality.
So in between calling high school football, Indy 11 games, doing some stuff with the Colts, when you got free time, you go down to El Paso, pick up a couple gigs.
It was 23 years ago, and I went with the school in which campus we're on right now, the then IUPUI Jaguars. More about my life story as a broadcaster in a moment. First, this for our friends at IMCU. Show your Indy 11 Pregame exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today.
How many states have you not called a game in?
I've been to 42 of the 50 states, and most of that has been because I have called a game in said states. So I have been to the far western reaches of Texas. I have never been to New Mexico, for example, which is not far from El Paso. And here's the part that always strikes me as amazing about the state of Texas and El Paso. In El Paso, you are closer to Los Angeles than you are Houston, Texas.
It is a big state.
Especially for driving across it in a lawnmower, correct?
It takes weeks if you're driving across Texas on a lawnmower.
And if you wonder why I made that reference, Brad has done that before. Williams, as in Romario. Aiden Quinn cannot slide it past Jamali Waite. And frankly, were it not for Waite, this could be 4 or 5 in terms of the goal lead for the Indy 11.
Great build-up. Great ball slipped through right here. And a great touch from Aiden Quinn, but a better save by Waite.
Good flick there by El Paso. That was by Joaquin Rivas. Rivas with a goal and an assist this year, getting his 18th appearance of the campaign. And Rivas has been a good player in this league for a long time.
Good find.
Moshe to Stauffer. Stauffer plays it across. Afemu got in the way. Coronado will simply knock it sideways. Samaro blocks that cross. Stanley will not take a chance. He'll give the corner, which will be the first of the match, I believe, for El Paso, which is brought to us by Wilson, Kehoe, and Winningham. All right, Brad, I give. The answer to the trivia question would be?
Greg Foster.
As in former brief Indiana Pacer. Or was it Jeff Foster you're referencing? Greg Foster and Jeff Foster are two different people.
Hold on.
Jeff Foster played at Texas State in San Marcos.
All right. Did he play for the Pacers?
And then played for years for the Indiana Pacers.
Is there a Greg Foster?
Yes.
That played for the Pacers?
I think briefly. He played for everybody. But Jeff played for the Indiana Pacers for a long time.
I'm going to have to get back to you with my trivia answer. I know for a fact the last name was Foster.
Okay. So it's not Foster Brooks is what you're saying. Calvillo's pass does not connect, and again, off to the races come to the Indy 11. Romario Williams opposite side. That's where Malik Foster's ball was sent. Romario cuts it back, but not close to Augie Williams and not close to anybody else from the Indy 11 perspective. Here's Rivas. Calvillo. Stauffer. Sliding tackle. And again, because El Paso not going to be content just to sit back. Once you kind of break that first wave of pressure, there's going to be space at the back end. El Paso doesn't have the luxury of kind of sitting on it or playing for a result. Indiana winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthebold.com. Colin Meyer charged into by Hayden White, and White will be shown yellow. And Hayden has talked about needing to adjust the level of physicality here in the States, being a little bit different. Played for Ebbsfleet United in the National League, the 5th tier of English football, a season ago. For White, that is the 2nd yellow he has picked up in just 3 matches. Lawrence Wotton is making his way towards the 4th official. He'll join in the midfield, and you think he might be coming in for Sumaro. Not because Sumaro has played poorly, in fact, quite the opposite, but I think it's one of those things that as the match was unfolding last week, was almost by accident he played 90 minutes. They didn't intend him to play that level of time in his first match with the team. And Wotton has been fantastic in whatever role he's been asked to play for the Indy 11 this year. On loan from Chicago Fire, first-year pro. Englishman by way of Ohio State University. He's been the 2-time Big Ten midfielder of the year.
And always have given solid minutes this season, but it was the Open Cup victory against Atlanta in Atlanta where he just absolutely shined.
Brad and I had the pleasure of calling that match on radio on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Stauffer.
Just a swarm of blue jerseys right now, making it very, very difficult for El Paso to find a window.
Everything has been around the 18 for El Paso. Calvillo now trying to break through.
Serve.
Now the cross, and left foot does not get through from Steven Rivas. Steven gets another opportunity, and I don't think Salt got a finger to that. He did not. And you see a couple of El Paso players pointing to put that ball in front of me.
Right, I don't understand if, unless that's a mishit ball, that ball should come back across the box.
And as expected, it is Sumaro who will exit stage left. Wotton comes in minute number 61. Your thoughts of Brem's debut performance in front of the home fans?
It's great, steady. I'd say some of the things off the ball are really impressive. He read really well those moments when Afemu would step up and join the attack. He'd hold then, instead of joining the attack, hold and provide that defensive shape until Afemu could recover.
Thanks to our friends, the Denny Companies. The Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. I would say if Brem doesn't join our post-game conversation tonight, he'd be certainly a candidate for Soccer Saturday coming up this weekend on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. Romario Williams commits the foul. Stauffer's gotten quite familiar with the turf here at Carroll Stadium tonight. Wonder if he is familiar with the phenomenal barbecue places in his hometown of Owensboro, Kentucky.
Such as?
If you've ever been down there, there is one existential question you have to answer. Are you a Moonlight person or an Old Hickory person? And the answer is always Moonlight, the world's largest barbecue buffet.
Oh my goodness.
I've had entire productions planned around when could we get to Moonlight? When does it open so we can enjoy?
An all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet.
Yes,
How do
sir.
you stay in business?
They've done it for generations. Williams with the nudge. Alfaro then more than a nudge, and it's going to be a card. So Alfaro, the guilty party. Alfaro is from Mexico, but played collegiate soccer at Cal State Dominguez Hills at the Division II level. And he spent a lot of time in Major League Soccer the last few years as well.
Yeah, this is one that is tough. You get a pretty big nudge from Augie Williams, and so you wind up having a foul here when you thought, hey, this should be going the other way. It's one of those times, when the season is not been one that you dreamed of months ago. It just sort of has this spiral effect where calls don't go your way. Goofy stuff happens, but it always seems to happen in the wrong direction. Life's about balance. The game's about balance. It all balances out. But sometimes when it rains, it pours. Good serve.
Live ball at the edge of the 6. It never got to wait. Mario Williams. Jack Blake. Not enough in it for a whistle. Just at the edge of the 18. Still a lot of time left to this game, and substitutes in triplicate form coming on as Wotton commits the foul. Advantage is being played for El Paso. Rivas was the player that was aggrieved in that scenario.
Yeah, I like that no whistle at that moment.
Lyons, Cabrera, and Zacharias all about to enter the match. And again for Cabrera, this is a homecoming, having played his college soccer for Paul Snape and Butler. His Bulldogs played last night at Ohio State, so we could have several college teammates here watching the match tonight.
I haven't had a chance to listen to Soccer Saturday yet. Did you find out how Butler found him or how he found Butler?
He has said that he had this great connection with Paul Snape and it felt like home. Did not want to go to a huge school. He also said he loved the fact that there are seasons in Indianapolis. And yes, the weather does change from month to month.
Yeah, Paul Snape has done an absolutely brilliant job at Butler.
Be a foul against Aiden Quinn. Before these three substitutes appear for El Paso, let's thank our friends at Hyatt Place and Hyatt House. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. Hyatt Place and Hyatt House, downtown Indianapolis. So Miles Lyons on the middle of your screen. Ricardo Zacharias, who has been a usual substitute for El Paso. This is his 8th match. 15 of them have been coming in this scenario. Moshe Bain, Stauffer, and Steven Rivas will exit. There is Lyons. Lyons getting his 18th match of the season. Young man from Tucson, Arizona. There you see Andy Cabrera. And last year was with RGV. By the time they got here, he had already headed over to Germany to play overseas. And then when Dad got the job with El Paso, he came back, was signed on a 25-day deal on August the 2nd, and then has signed with the team for the rest of the year. And Cabrera's story is more than that. Much like we've seen Logan Neidlinger for the Indy 11, he played in 30 matches for RGV as a high schooler, basically, before he played at Butler, and scored 4 goals. And last year for RGV, Wilmer Jr. or Andy scored 7 times. So he is a proven goal-scoring commodity in this league at the age of 24. Blake, Romario Williams. Williams. Wait, does it again. It's a 2-goal match. Jamali Waite has ensured that it's not 4, 5, or more.
He's been fantastic.
This match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Here's Calvillo. Next up for El Paso. They're at home for their next 2. They got the Switchbacks coming to town on Saturday night. They'll play the following Sunday against North Carolina FC. We said they've got 5 of their next 6. They're at home before they finish the season at the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. There is a blast that, tell you what, the BYB has been peppered this evening.
That's a frustration shot right there. You're just not able to penetrate the 18, so you just pull the trigger in a shot that's not going to go anywhere. Romario Williams sets this up brilliantly. Great touch, just a great save. Waite keeps his feet. That's so difficult to stay up on your toes, be able to react to that ball that way.
Waite's been really good. It's been the last years playing for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
So you know he's mentally tough.
You said that in a more efficient way than I was about to. Well said. If you can play keeper for Pittsburgh and you played for Bob Lilly, my hat is off to you now, as Johnny Cash would say. El Paso wasn't always kind to Johnny, by the way. That scene in the movie was actually filmed in the El Paso International Airport because I've been there. I recognized it. Although if we're talking about El Paso and singers, you kind of got to leave with Marty Robbins, right?
I don't know who that is. So
down in the West Texas town of El Paso. You're not familiar with that song?
I'm familiar with the song.
Okay, that's Marty Robbins. Flag will go up here. Yep. Williams was offside.
Needed to flatten it out a bit.
The song or the run?
No, I thought tonally you were phenomenal.
Thank you.
I've not heard an acoustic version of that song quite as engaging as that one was.
Thank you. I went with more of a bass approach. I'll save you from this discussion. Johnson Controls is the power behind your mission.
Indy's given all of this space just at the edge of the attacking third for El Paso and really denying penetrating moments.
Here's Miles Lyons. Now Coronado, good opportunity here, but again, nobody makes the corresponding run, and Hunter Salt on a dead sprint gobbles it up.
I love the initial ball to switch fields, and I love the thought. I wasn't sure why he wasn't settling it, but he put that ball perfectly across the 6. There just wasn't a run coming down the middle or to the back post.
Indy still has 4 substitutions yet to make, and 2 of them are heading this way now. Elliot Collier and Douglas Martinez. Williams and Blake on the same page. Collier has been the super sub for the Indy 11 with 4 goals scored off the bench for the native New Zealander. Foster applying some pressure. Well, Foster and Williams, 2 Jamaican imports brought in June and August respectively, and Romario Williams, a little too much on that. They have both been tremendous tonight. And for Douglas Martinez, he spent his weekend playing for Honduras. He appeared in both of their international matches last weekend. That's the reason why he is coming in off the bench tonight. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access. Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Plus here, live matches from the USL Championship, Major League Soccer, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 of the all-new Sirius XM app. I enjoyed hearing the Mauricio Pochettino press conference yesterday on Sirius XM FC 157.
Great recovery from Wharton there. Sorry to interrupt.
That's quite all right.
I just love, guys that are making that extra effort to come back and help out in the back.
Well, extra effort perfectly described Lawrence's tenure with the Indy 11 so far. He's on loan for Chicago. We don't know what the future is. I would say if for whatever reason the opportunity would be to sign him up long-term here, Indy would be more than happy to do so. Soccer Battalion at full song. Blake, dispossessed for a moment, somehow got it back from Navarez. And Navarez in a bad way on the turf. He'll hop up now.
Great movement, good overlapping run.
Williams, one touch, and could not lift it up and overweight to get it successfully on frame.
Yeah, and that's not going to go down as a save for weight, but the fact that he came out as aggressive as he did forced Romario Williams into that bad touch on the second one. There was no option. You saw what he wanted to do in his head, but the aggressiveness from weight took that away from him.
And again, I guarantee those guys know each other well, being from Jamaica, so there was a kind of a playful pat on the head as Waite walks by, appreciating the effort of Romario Williams. Romario did play college soccer. He played at Central Florida before turning pro many years ago. Quinn with the challenge. Foster the flick, but both Augie and Romario Williams are in offside position. Wilmer Cabrera not happy about the lack of the call. Not just on a player, but his son in the middle of the field. Collier and Martinez have made their way to the fourth official. They'll enter momentarily. Great read by Deespe. And then Romario Williams, a bit more violently, ends that play. And that is Andy Cabrera. That is the player that is down.
You're talking about Romario Williams' college career and weird twist of circumstances. I mean, soccer is both a huge world and a small world. Is that Gabe Zapponi, the assistant coach for Indy 11,
right,
is his college teammate, roommate, and then they wind up working together at the pro level.
Indianapolis is the world's biggest small town, is it not?
That is what I have heard. You know where I heard that?
Me.
Exactly, just moments ago.
Yeah, I ran out of interesting things to say 8 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I say a lot of things, but they're all repetitive. So Foster out, Martinez in, Malik tremendous tonight. Elliot Collier down to the mix. My favorite line about Elliot this year from Coach McCauley: if we don't know what Elliot is going to do, the other team doesn't know either. He's embraced that super sub roll. There's Cabrera left foot, and Saltz again spoils it.
Great job from Cabrera, creating opportunity for himself. There was no window there. Couple of quick touches, and he creates it for himself. Look at this. Boom, boom, shot.
That was on target. And now we'll see a card given. And that's to, not a player, but that's to Wilmer Cabrera, who's been working on that for a while on the sideline. I want to thank our friends at 450 North Brewing. Innovation and creativity through libation. And we'll launch this one in the opposite direction. I want to thank Nate for the kind words on Twitter, enjoying the broadcast this evening, and I would hope that our buddy Tom Cuniff is still awake over in England, watching us on YouTube internationally tonight. 11's biggest fan outside of the United States. Ball headed down by Alfaro. Will be a corner kick coming, brought to us by Wilson, Kehoe, and Winningham. And I also know that we have a buddy of mine who was listening to our broadcast while chaperoning a high school homecoming dance this evening. You want to say hello to everybody not watching or listening at the Belmont High School homecoming dance in Decatur, Indiana this evening.
Did he volunteer, or is that like a
I'm not sure.
service
Dane
kind of
was
thing?
just lamenting that he had to be there tonight. Keep the eyes on the punch, Dane. Augie Williams. Good combination play by Indy. And Augie the target. Zacharias got there first. Here's Collier. Draws three defenders, somehow splits them all. The back heel. Romario Williams does not connect. There's Wotton. And this has been solid from top to bottom for the Indy 11. The header! And Elliot Collier makes it 3 for the Indy 11. Goal number 5 for the Kiwi. And this is something something Indy 11 fans haven't seen in months. Some breathing room tonight in downtown Indianapolis.
Well, you look, too, at Elliot Collier. I don't know what his goal-to-minutes ratio is, but he comes in late in the match and makes an immediate impact.
So to your point, Brad, his goal-per-minute ratio on the season is a goal every 106.5 minutes.
Of course you would have that stat. Of course you would have that stat. But look at this. How do you leave a tall Kiwi alone in the box? Great serve. He finds the other end of it.
He started twice this year. He scored in both matches. He had the game winner in a road win against Monterey Bay back on May the 4th. And while he didn't get credit for the goal, he set up the own goal that was the game winner against Atlanta United. That was the second goal in Kennesaw back in early July. And again, how stacked is this current Indy 11 roster? Romario Williams fouled. Your fourth and fifth subs of the night are Sebastian Guenzotti and Cam Lindley.
Incredible.
This is what this is supposed to look like from the Indy 11 perspective.
And this time of year is the right time for it to look this way.
Guenzotti, who is now fifth in league history in goals scored with 75. Hayden Quinn will give the captain's armband to Cam Lindley. Romario Williams has certainly turned in an exquisite shift tonight, replaced by Guenzotti. Josh O'Brien will not feature in this evening's match for the Indy 11. And Yannick Odell, unused substitution. Thanks to our friends from the Morales Group. Staffing agencies find jobs. We build futures. We'll have plenty of post-game interviews coming up on ESPN Plus and My Indy TV 23.
Great overlapping. Oh, the attempt at an overlapping run. Just a heavy touch from Aiden Stanley, but it works out.
Collier is making everything work right now for the Indy 11. And again, you may say, listen, El Paso's the last place team in the West. This is what you're supposed to do. And there would be some truth to that. But again, Indy has really struggled. Guenzotti! Didn't miss that by much.
Well, you look, too, if Hunter Salt doesn't make the save on the restart early in this match, and it becomes 1-1, we're having a completely different conversation at this point. Great ball from Doug Martinez.
You can take the boys in blue with you wherever you go. Download the all-new Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. And now the question for Indy is, can you take this and build on this for next week? You're playing North Carolina, whose first year back in the championship after winning League One a season ago. A team that Indy beat 2-1 when they played all the way back on April the 27th. And North Carolina is battling for a playoff spot.
Well, the difference between this match and that match is just what you said there at the end, is that's an Eastern Conference opponent who is still very much mathematically alive for one of those playoff spots. So that's a 6-point game. Not only do you get your 3, but you rob somebody behind you of closing the gap on you.
Giveaway by Hayden, wide opportunity, Calvillo. Hunter Salt. It has been a moment, or a match of moments for Hunter, and he has risen the occasion both times, if not more, when necessary.
Yeah, you can see the body language after this play. El Paso gets a great transitional moment, good build-up, finally a good look at the goal. Hunter Salt makes a great save, and you just see afterwards the frustration. It's like we're doing things right, and sometimes great save, great play by a player just takes what you've done correctly and turns it into an opportunity that drifts away.
Restart coming for Hunter Salt. Just got a finger on that. Calvillo, I'm not sure that was going to be on target, but obviously Hunter could not take the chance. Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments, brings us this portion of the match. And again, this is a type of match that You know, Indy hasn't had a tremendous amount of matches like this season. But you got to go back to, say, Miami in early May, kind of Hartford right after that. You know, the Open Cup win against Detroit kind of during that time as well. Pretty lopsided winning at San Antonio also in May. So it's really been kind of 4 months since you've seen one like this for the Indy 11.
Yeah, now the other part about it, too, is we talked about in the keys to the game, there's been a bit of a scoring drought and there's been a bit of a lapse defensively. And so we talked about both of those things need to be tightened up. Obviously, you've clicked offensively. Right now, defensively, it's gone very, very well for you, getting good numbers behind the ball. You're making it difficult. But the one thing you cannot have happen here is you want to keep the clean.
And that does not happen before you can finish.
Sheet. 2 E's.
Zacharias with the goal. And it's now 3-1. And for El Paso, they had that 3-match streak of not allowing a goal. It scored just one time. In fact, they had scored just once in their last 4 matches. And as we have talked about, just their 20th tally of the season. It is still an uphill climb, but they are 1 goal closer.
Yeah, great build-up, a couple of missed clearing opportunities, and in that amount of traffic with 3 players right around you to be able to find the corner, that's impressive. I know some of it is hit it and hope, but you got no windows right there.
Zacharias, his first goal of the season. And here comes El Paso charging forward. This is not done yet. Cabrera looking to make the turn. D's pay, racing back to keep that ball in play. And draws, but the foul will be called against him.
Well, you like what you've seen from Cabrera tonight. You can see why he's been explosive, not just at the collegiate level, but at the pro level.
Bolo Akinyode will make his way to the 4th official. And much like Joaquin Rivas, Bolo, a player that we know very well here in Indianapolis from playing against the Indy 11 for multiple sides over the years. He'll be the next and final substitution for the visitors this evening. First, the restart coming from Andy Cabrera. There's Bolo. Ball sent in. Famu buys a little more real estate, but not out of danger just yet. Wenzati, that's
easy call. Didn't need that.
A shove in the back and bit of a dust up at the end of that.
You can't do anything that gives moments for El Paso to put some life and a heartbeat back into this game.
Speaking of Joaquin Rivas, that is the player that Akinyode will come in for. Let's see if that happens now. And Joaquin sprinting across the pitch. We referenced this in Calvillo. Akinyode is a guy that goes back all the way to the NASL days of playing against the Indy 11. When he played for North Carolina FC back in 2017. Bolo turned 30 earlier this year. Ball sent in. D's Bay sweeps it back. And Augie Williams pushed forward by Cam Lindley. Then Collier taken down. Maybe.
Wow.
Then Coronado, a 2-footed tackle that misses Collier. Then Collier stepped on outside of the 18. That will be a card. And that will be an opportunity edge the 18 for the Indy 11. Let's hope that Collier is no worse for wear. In fact, 2 yellows on the play. So Lions for the tackle that ended the play. Coronado also shown yellow for the first attempt on Collier. Back-to-back yellows and a set piece coming for the Indy 11.
Wow, that could have been bad. It cannot just be me that it looks like Elliot Collier on every dribble loses the ball 3 to 4 times, but it never leaves his feet. Well, maybe I can interpret your silence as saying it is just me.
I'm trying to figure out a better way to describe this than Elliot reminds me of a praying mantis when he has the ball at his feet. Just kind of all arms and legs going different directions, and nobody knows where it's going to go, but usually a good thing for the Indy 11.
That is exactly what praying mantis
That was the
is
conversation that was in my mind. That's the reason for the pause there. Lindley looking back post. Headed across, but not on target, and a goal kick coming for El Paso.
Great serve, great opportunity.
Fans scan the QR code on screen and subscribe to the Indy 11 YouTube channel. You're the first to see match highlight training content, Jack Blake's podcast, the Coaches Show podcast, and so much more.
Those are great. I mean, I've had the chance to be in studio as it's happening, and the insights that you get from Coach are great. Ian Gilmore, terrific host of the Coaches Show. Jack Blake is just one of the most engaging guys I've ever listened to.
Good work by Guenzati and Collier and Wotton to win that back. You've got several guys that have entered as subs that frankly have been starters most of the year. Some of the newer acquisitions for the Indy 11. And they're capable of trying to not climb back in a match tonight, but to put one away. And White, Dallenmeyer picks up a yellow card. You can take a few seconds here on the restart, nursing a 2-goal advantage.
Yellow card caution has been issued by the referee. Locomotive FC's.
When I talked to him for Soccer Set this week, he seemed to be loving life here in the States. He had been over here before, you know, with family, Disney World, holiday, etc., but not to play professionally.
He's been great. I mean, just aggressive, good pace, great touch, great vision as he comes down that right flank.
Mansfield Town and Walsall, the places he has spent the most amount of time the last 6 and 7 years. Lindley, Martinez.
Wow, oh my goodness.
Guenzati, ball behind him, tried to steer it in on frame for his 6th of the season and 76th in this league. The USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for complete USL TV listings.
I love the effort Guenzati gives you every ball, every game, every moment. Does not take a play off.
You and I have been doing this for 11 years, and whether it's the Indy 11 or an away team, because obviously we have seen Seba more as an away player, even with him playing basically every match for the Indy 11 in the last 2 years. I'm not sure we have seen a player play harder in the 11 years we've been doing this than Seba, night in, night out.
And the thing is night in, night out. And that's the toughest part of it.
Friends, the fourth official on the sideline has indicated that a minimum of 5 minutes will be added to the end of the second half.
So 5 minutes of additional time before this one is in the past tense. Credit El Paso, they have continued to force the issue here. Goal scores for Indy: Romario Williams in half one, Malik Foster, Elliot Collier half two. Ricardo Zacharias with the lone salvo so far for El Paso Locomotive. El Paso, by the way, the last team in the league to play here for the first time. Now all current members of the league have played a game in Indianapolis. Cabrera. Coronado. Dallenmeyer.
Yeah, look at Indy, 9 players behind the ball.
And Wotton will simply punt this one to midfield. Williams trying to carve out some space, but again, nobody joining Augie on the attack right now, nursing a 2-goal advantage. And you're not to the point of mathematical elimination just yet if you're El Paso, but you're not far away from it.
You can see it from where you're standing.
Long distance ball, looking for a supporting run. Zacharias. Now Stanley will buy a lot more real estate. Williams trying to make the turn, can't get around Alfaro. But to finish that thought now, what's the offseason project look like for Wilmer Cabrera?
Well, you take a look. You brought in players that you got experience with and that you like. So you're starting to build a little bit of foundation because it's not guys that you've seen on film. It's guys you've had in the locker room that you know and you believe. So as you start to put the culture and the character of your team together, it's really difficult to do when you get hired mid-season. So now you give him an off-season to find a few more players. I mean, he's been around the game for a long time. You give him the opportunity and the time to go find the players that fits the way he wants to play, and you're going to like what you see.
Not enough in that. And frankly, now you'll get a card being shown for dissent, and that'll be a second yellow. And Coronado has earned a red for his second yellow tonight. So Indy will play a man up for just a slightly smaller stretch of time than their last home match, when they played a man up for 90 minutes. This will be just for the last two. And frankly, after this one has been decided. So Coronado shown red. Coronado in just his 9th match of the season. Again, one of those mid-season acquisitions for El Paso Locomotive. That is his first red.
Thought he was good tonight. I think when you take a look at the frustration they've had in this season, you know, even though you've had a coaching change and you brought in a quality coach, there's still the frustration of, you know, having a coaching change. The games haven't gone your way. The ball hasn't gone in the net. End of the season, the games, the little things that normally wouldn't bother you start to bother you.
And another second yellow, and now red has been shown. This one is to Lyons, who came on as a sub, and El Paso now 2 men down. And again, it frankly is of little consequence for this match, but obviously you're losing players to the next match. But now the big concern for the Indy 11, and that was a tough landing for Aiden Stanley, who had Lyons roll over on top of him. And again, Stanley has not missed a minute this year, other than because Indy sat him against Las Vegas to get him ready for the Open Cup. So Stanley has been as durable as he could be. But again, that was a really tough tumble he took. Take a look.
And it was awkward, too. It wasn't just the physicality of it, but you get landed on, and sometimes when that shoulder's underneath you and you got another 180, 150 pounds coming in at you hard, it just adds a little bit more stress onto that joint.
Well, you saw Aiden immediately kind of go for his ribs, and that was my concern, that basically as he went to the ground, Lyons inadvertently fell on him and put all of his weight right on the ribs of Stanley, and arm underneath him. Let's hope he is all right. But the rarest of scenarios where Indy now plays 2 men up. Again, we have already gotten to our allotted 5 minutes, but more minutes will be added to this match. And at this point, frankly, you're just kind of taking the air out of the ball.
Right. Stay away from any kind of contact.
Yep.
Keep the ball moving. Don't put yourself into anything that could draw a foul or draw contact.
Ball sent in by Lindley. And then Lindley gives the foul, and he'll be shown yellow. And immediately helps Zacharias to his feet.
The yellow card caution has been issued by the referee with the 11's Cam Lindley.
He only had one player that was nearing a yellow card situation. That was Callum Chapman-Page. We can talk about that in 2 weeks, because this one is in the past tense. This is one that the Indy 11 absolutely needed. Not just the result, but the quality of play. Right. And both of those things match each other tonight. 3 goals and all 3 points for the home team. Indy wins this one by a score of 3-1.
Yeah, terrific job offensively. Nearly a perfect clean sheet defensively. So you start seeing the pieces rounding into place.
Post-game show comes your way next on My Indy TV and ESPN+.
Every place has a purpose, And the people who inhabit those places have their own reasons for being there. The last thing on their minds should be concerns about the safety of the places they are in. When it comes to security and safety for all the places that matter, Dormakaba offers a seamless flow of integrated solutions that allow people to move securely about their daily lives. Because the places that matter to you matter to us.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
At Security Federal, our flexible banking solutions mean your financial future has never been brighter. Our business options will keep you one step ahead of the competition, and the communities we serve can depend on us to be there when it counts. At Security Federal Savings Bank, flexibility means everything because it's all about you. Now offering free business and personal checking. Call or visit us online today.
A very happy home set of fans. Josh Loritzen amongst those down in the Brickyard Battalion awaiting the celebration of the high five line after an Indy 11 win, 3-1. Indy gets their first win of any kind, and it's one of the home fans as well since beating Rhode Island here back on August the 7th. Securing the win is brought to us by Allegiant in Romario Williams' second goal as an Indy 11 player. The 60th of his USL Championship career gave Indy a lead they would never relinquish. That is our securing the win moment brought to us by Allegiant.
Yeah, and you looked at Augie Williams earlier than that. He fires 2 shots from inside the 18. So he draws all of the attention. Romario Williams makes the great backside run, and he finds him with a great ball across the box.
Williams to Williams for Augie, his second assist of the season. For Romario, his 4th goal in total between Hartford and Indy on the season. Our Schleg lockdown play of the game, well, that was the shot stopper. That was Hunter Sultan again. Tonight was a night we'll talk more about the offense, but Hunter has been fantastic all season long, and maybe he has not made a more athletic play than that one all season.
Unreal. Unreal. I mean, look at how far over he is, and that ball is tucked perfectly inside the post. Full extension.
We mentioned how tall that Noah Dollemeyer was for El Paso. Hunter 1 inch taller at 6'7" to make that diving effort. Our stat of the game is brought to us by Sports Tech HQ. And again, 3 goals, but 9 shots on target. So, Brad, that meant Jamali Waite made 6 saves tonight for El Paso.
Right, and you take a look at the conversion rate on the shots on target. That's fantastic.
So again, thanks to our friends at Sports Tech HQ for bringing us our stat of the game. We'll take this quick time out. We will come back and begin our post-game conversations with Sean McCauley and a pair of our Indy 11 goal scorers tonight. The Indy 11 have gotten to 40 points on the season. Their 11th win as they tally 3 times for the home fans and win this one 3-1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
The Indy 11 are announcing a new signing to their squad. We can now confirm it's Max from Williams Comfort Air and Mr. Plumber. Max clearly has some training to do to get into shape by game day. Soccer skills and service you can rely on from a team you can trust. Both essential for a winning performance.
So I had no job, no car, nobody to watch my son. And
And when I finally got a job interview, it was a half-hour away. I was just stuck, you know? Then one of my friends told me to call CareSource. I was like, my health insurance company?
We helped Becky with her resume, arranged daycare for her son, and even set up a ride to the interview that helped her get the job. CareSource is so much more than health insurance.
At Security Federal, our flexible banking solutions mean your financial future has never been brighter. Our business options will keep you one step ahead of the competition, and the communities we serve can depend on us to be there when it counts. At Security Federal Savings Bank, flexibility means everything because it's all about you. Now offering free business and personal checking. Call or visit us online today.
A good night for the home side. They tally 3 times. They do give up 1 to El Paso, but Indy gets all 3 points. A 3-1 win against El Paso Locomotive. Alongside Brad Hunter, Greg Rakeshore, thanks for joining us for post-game coverage on My Indy TV and ESPN Plus. We'll start talking to players and coaches coming up here in a matter of moments, but again, almost a sigh of relief more than anything else for the Indy 11.
Right. You take a look at how important this game was for both teams. And El Paso almost on life support, if not on life support, for their playoff chances. So you know they're coming in to fight. And then for Indy, you have to end this skid. You got to start turning things. You got to start turning the momentum towards this playoff run and get yourself clicking on all levels before the playoff run starts.
And now if you're the Indy 11, again, have you found the right combination of players and squad rotation? Can you just kind of copy this and carry it forward?
Well, the one thing that Indy has struggled with since he's gotten here is finding ways to get Malik Foster out into space and allow him to use his speed. Tonight they were able to do that, and part of that are the two Augie and Romario, the two Williams tandem up top, opens up space on the outside, so he was able to take advantage of that tonight.
Again, all the pieces fit for the Indy 11 this evening, and joining us now to talk about it is the head coach of the Indy 11 in Sean McCauley. And Coach, again, we're just talking about it. This is a night where everything seemingly worked for you. First time in a while. How you feeling after this one?
I think we needed the points, that's for sure. Pleased with the performance. Obviously, the points were really important to us. I thought we played well. I thought we created chances, and that's what I want to do. I want to be a team that scores goals. I'm disappointed that we conceded. A sloppy goal there for us defensively. But overall, with the chances that we created and the 3 goals we scored, I think it was a really good performance for us tonight. Brad
was making a point. It was the combination. Maybe it was based around trying to find a way to use the unique talents of Malik Foster to get him the ball and get it to him in space. You did that. He got his first Indy 11 goal. Your thoughts about specifically Malik's effort this evening?
Well, he's a very good. He's a special type of player, and he's what you used to see a lot in the 70s and the 80s, where you'd get that winger who just has this unbelievable talent to control a game with his ability, and sometimes it looks a little bit cocky, but no, his work rate and effort is excellent as well without the ball. So I'm really pleased that he scored, because that tops off a really good night for him.
Yeah, great save by Waite just before then. You thought, oh my goodness, he's not all these opportunities. He's just not going to get rewarded. A really, really fun game to watch here, both offensively and defensively. Love the way the guys came out and created opportunities off the pressure and repossessions and counter press. And then, certainly with the ball, just looked so dynamic tonight. Your thoughts on those combinations up top?
I thought they were good, and I think, yeah, you're right. Waite made a really good save before Malik scored, but he made an exceptional save against, I think it was Romario, where he's done a little bit of skill in the box and hit it, and I think it's a point-blank save, which is really good. But I was, really impressed by the link-up play with the two centre-forwards, and I think it helped having Malik being that player that can stretch and worry defenders, and then Jack being the other player on the other side who can come inside and combine as well. I thought in the second half the combination of Jack Romario was very good. And then, also it's been a good night for us because the subs came on and made an impact, which is really positive for us moving forward. Elliot, he has a great attitude and a work ethic to him that when he comes on, he wants to prove something, and he's done again tonight. He's got a goal, which I'm really pleased for.
Yeah, you talk about some of the great saves that Waite made in here. How important when you're up 1-0 is that save by Hunter Solt on the restart?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great save again. And Hunter, you're looking at it and thinking, he's leaving a lot of room there for the guy to put it in, and he just has that, unbelievable sort of reach, which probably only he can have. He's got the athleticism as well as the size, and it's a great save. And again, that could have changed it for us. They could have got a bit of belief and a bit of confidence from that. But on the flip side to that, I think Augustine, when he's clean through, should score, and that changes it as well. So it can be a little bit of a up and down night sometimes on the side of the field when things go for you, go against you, and overall, I'm really pleased.
Well, I think before we let you go in again, because it was a night of so many highlights of 3 goals, of Hunter's couple of saves, a guy that kind of settles things in the midfield may not get talked about. But I thought Brem Samaro was fantastic for you for a second consecutive week. Just your thoughts about what he has added to the mix as kind of your final addition of this roster puzzle.
I've said before, his game knowledge is really good. So, the opponent tonight is difficult to play against because they flood the midfield with so many players, and they want to play that possession-based approach, which can sometimes, wear you down. But I think his understanding of where to apply pressure and when to apply pressure and where to be on the field is really, really good. And it's at a real high level. And we're really pleased that he's come in and, we spoke about it earlier that, we need to gel. I think the gelling okay, actually, from this game. We've got tough games coming up, and we need to keep improving.
Sean, my friend, go enjoy this one. At least give yourself a day. Good luck in North Carolina next weekend. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Again, Sean McCauley, head coach of the Indy 11. Romario Williams and Malik Foster are standing by. They will be joining us pretty much in short order. Looks like it's Romario Williams that will get the nod to join us next. And this is becoming kind of habit-forming for Romario. Back-to-back home games, back-to-back goals, and back-to-back appearances on the postgame show.
Well, when you score 60 times, these are not moments that you're unused to.
Last time he joined us, he had the brick just off camera. I do not see the brick in his possession just yet, but in Romario getting the headsets on and joining us now. Ro, this is becoming a habit. I like this, talking to you after wins. Just your thoughts as to what you and your teammates accomplished here tonight.
It was great. We spoke about it before the game, the importance of taking care of home. We haven't had much success here at home the last couple of weeks, and, we didn't want to underestimate anyone coming in, but we know El Paso, they're kind of out of it right now. And, at times when there are teams that doesn't have anything to play for, it can be tricky. So we just wanted to come in and be on the front foot from the start. And, we were able to do that, get an early goal, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. And, we were able to get 3. It felt like we left a couple more out there, but, proud of the way the guys performed tonight. Great team win. We take the 3 points and we move on to next week.
Coach McCauley kind of shifted some of the pieces around with the idea of creating more goals. Obviously did that, created more chances. You had 9 shots on target. Your thoughts about kind of how all the pieces fit together for you and your teammates this evening?
It's still coming together. We have a well-rounded group, a lot of talent, and a lot of skill set within the group. And, it's each and every week, each and every day in practice, we work on, chemistries and tendencies and player traits and things like that. So it's all coming together. We're still working on different things, but it was, a lot of those stuff that we've been working on was on full display tonight. And, we were able to get good looks on goal, create a lot of opportunities, for different guys, put guys in different spots, to score. But, Jamali made some great saves tonight as well. And as I said, we're going to look back at the film on Monday, and we just look at, the areas to clean up as we build towards North Carolina next week.
Yeah, he made some great saves. He robbed you of a second one right there with that right hand.
Yeah.
We talked about the connectivity, and you guys still building the chemistry and everything. You and Augie Williams were on the same page tonight. Whoever wrote the script, you guys were both reading off of it. That ball that he sent over to you was a brilliant finish. The ball that you sent him in on, where he just pushed it a little bit wide. Talk about that process of 2 great goal scorers and how they unselfishly can work together to be better than just the individual pieces.
Yeah, I mean, since I got here, it's just been constant conversation between the two of us. It helps because we're both strikers, so we kind of know the deliveries, the services, and things of that nature that we want. So it makes it easier for me, to put him into good goal-scoring positions. And
it's okay.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Thank
Romario
you.
Williams, kind enough to join us. And again, one more player, Malik Foster, will join us coming up in a matter of moments. But again, we are now seeing Rowe hit his stride that we have seen for numerous other teams over the last decade here in the league.
Right, and you take a look at the he's gelling with Hartford, for the first time, kind of gets his footing there, trades teams. Now you're gelling with another team. So it's been a little bit of a rocky way. You can't find that rhythm. And you look at the dynamic play between him and Augie tonight, it may be that they've both found their groove.
And again, these are two guys that do a lot of similar things. You're not sure how they're going to pair with one another. That was, again, a great pairing tonight. And Malik Foster certainly put his impact on the game, not just with the goal, but how he played in total. And Malik joins us now. You scored a lot of goals over the years, but it's your first in an Indy 11 uniform, Malik. How you feeling about this one?
Well, it's an overwhelming feeling, As you know, it's been a struggle to get here. So, I'm just happy to be here and enjoy my game.
You can talk about it a struggle, but again, you've barely been here for 3 weeks. So much has happened. You've got to start the lineup as soon as you got here in Vegas. What has this whirlwind been like for you these last 3 weeks?
That's what I'm saying. It's really it's tiring, but it comes with the sport. So I understand that I need to come here and do what I need to do.
I think one of the great things that you bring to the field is breakaway speed, just game-changing speed. And, when you take a look at Pittsburgh getting red-carded early and dropping everybody back behind the ball, it took away the opportunity for you to really get out and run. We saw a little bit of it in Hartford, had some great chances there, and we saw it tonight. How important is it to have guys around you like Augie and Romario that are going to draw so much attention that it gives you the opportunity to get out into space into 1v1 situations?
Yeah, that's the thing in the last half of the season. Teams that will be fighting to stay in playoff position. It's going to be tough. So we have to always come out and give our A game. So it's really important for every one of us, not just who is on the pitch, who is on the bench and who is not even in the team. So it's just a great feeling to just come here and to have those guys who understand me and I can play off them and they can play off me.
So now let's look at the other side of the ball. One thing that always impresses me are goal scorers and dynamic attacking players that do the work to come back and help out defensively. Saw you going box to box, saw you helping out at the 18. Is that something you were taught at an early age? Is that something that's wired inside of you? What gives you that drive to spend your energy going back when we all know goal scorers want to go forward?
Actually, when I was a kid growing up, I was just always above the half. My coach said, don't come back. But as soon as I'm getting older, I understand the professional world that I need to defend. So, it's always in me that, I have to go forward and have to get back.
Malik, congratulations on the first Indy 11 goal. Hopefully that's the first of many. Go enjoy the victory. Thanks for the time.
All right, thank you.
Malik Foster, come up to join us. That'll do it for our post-match interviews this evening. Thanks to Mark Grinda. Thanks as well to Ian Gilmore for their hard work and helping get those set up as well. Stay tuned. More post-game coverage comes your way next here on My Indy TV.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Indy 11 has the latest merchandise: shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, hats, and more. All at Indy11.com/shop.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Now get financing as low as 5.24% APR on a new or used vehicle. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Indy 11 has the latest merchandise: shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, hats, and more. All at Indy11.com/shop. Lots of highlights from this one with 3 goals scored from the Indy 11. Again, most they have put on the board in a match since May. They had a shot on goal 30 seconds in. First goal of the match belonged to Mario Williams, coming in minute number 12.
Hey, you know, I've been so excited about the way that Augie Williams played that ball across the box. I forgot to give any kind of credit to Malik Foster for the dummy run that allowed that ball to run through to Augie.
And again,
brilliant.
There were certainly opportunities throughout the match for El Paso. This, one of their better ones early, denied by Hunter Soul.
Game-changing save. If it's 1-1 at that time, it breathes life into El Paso.
Again, it would be 1-0 going into halftime. This was the best opportunity to make it 2-1 that Augie Williams probably would like to have back.
Absolutely. Great connectivity between Romario and Augie, just unable to find that final touch inside the 18.
Heck of a hit by Jack Blake, but again, Jamali Wade is really good, as you saw on that diving effort. But here's the one that made it 2 from Malik Foster.
Yeah, a little cut back after a great ball from Jack Blake. Gets the defender out of position and allows the back post window for Malik, and he takes advantage of it.
Sold the sprawling effort, and here comes Elliot Collier with his 5th of the season.
Great ball. I don't know how you leave someone, a goal scorer with that height, alone inside the 18.
But again, credit to El Paso. They kept battling the rest of the way. Calvillo's opportunity denied here, but they would find one from Ricardo Zacharias.
Yeah, unreal. It just the window's closed with 3 players in there. Somehow he was able to find a way to get the ball through.
But that would be all that would be in it tonight for El Paso Locomotive. In fact, they would end up picking 2 late red cards because of second yellow cards. They would finish the match 2 men down. But frankly, this one was done and dusted by the time we got to that point. Indy wins this one 3-1. First half possession was in favor of Locomotive by a margin of 61-39, and only got bigger in terms of half number 2. But frankly, 19 shots for the Indy 11, 9 on target. That's exactly what Sean McCauley was looking for.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You look, there needs to be so much context behind stats. You look at this possession, and you'd say, my goodness, this is such a lopsided game. But it's what you do with your possessions that matter.
Again, Indy had chances from start to finish, and they netted 3 of them tonight. More post-game conversation comes your way next on ESPN Plus and My Indy TV.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money, from rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling. You can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Every place has a purpose, and the people who inhabit those places have their own reasons for being there. The last thing on their minds should be concerns about the safety of the places they are in. When it comes to security and safety for all the places that matter, Dormicaba offers a seamless flow of integrated solutions that allow people to move securely about their daily lives. Because the places that matter to you matter to us.
Back for a final time. We'll turn into a gorgeous night. There you see the IU logo on the rechristened campus that is IU Indianapolis. That official change happened back in July. Indy 11 winning for the second time since that happened. 3-1. They beat El Paso Locomotive this evening. So how does this score stack up with others around the league? How about Loudoun coming from behind to beat Birmingham 4-2? The Rowdies and Riverhounds in a 1-1 draw. That is still going. If Pittsburgh gets a point, that's 11 consecutive unbeaten. That also means that Indy picks up 2 points in terms of chasing Tampa Bay. Detroit City gets a big win in beating New Mexico tonight. So Detroit City will stay 2 points clear of the Indy 11, as you're about to see from this graphic. So Detroit City, they're ahead of Indy. They are 2 points clear of Indy. They're sitting on 42 points. Indy's got 40. So right now, that is the 4-5 matchup. But again, there are 6 weeks and 7 matches left to go. Indy lost to Detroit in the regular season all the way back in March, which means Indy has even more motivation to pick up the full 3 when they see Detroit about 4 weeks from now.
Yeah, it's getting exciting. You got Detroit, you got Tampa Bay, you got Lou City. This is going to be a fun end of the season.
You said it well. Every match from this point going forward for the Indy 11 is a 6-pointer with 7 matches left to go. Next week, Indy 11 is at North Carolina FC. Indy is back home for Miami FC here in 2 weeks. Good night from downtown Indianapolis, and a good night for the Indy 11.
At Security Federal, our flexible banking solutions mean your financial future has never been brighter. Our business options will keep you one step ahead of the competition, and the communities we serve can depend on us to be there when it counts. At Security Federal Savings Bank, flexibility means everything because it's all about you. Now offering free business and personal checking. Call or visit us online today.
So I had no job, no car, nobody to watch my son. And when I finally got a job interview, it was a half hour away. I was just stuck, you know? Then one of my friends told me to call CareSource. I was like, my health insurance company?
We helped Becky with her resume, arranged daycare for her son, and even set up a ride to the interview that helped her get the job. CareSource is so much more than health insurance.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me. AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money. From rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling, you can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.